Hey, John here. Here's Legato day number 14. This is a G Lydian sweep and legato run. As usual, you can find the tabs in the description below and also here on the screen. I'm gonna play it once slowly and then break the whole thing down. We're starting on the 9th fret of the A string. So, G Lydian, it's the same thing as a G major scale, but with a sharp 4. So instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, we go 1, 2, 3, sharp 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's the sort of scale behind it. And in the tabs, you will see scale diagrams where I basically write out the intervals as well in most of the licks, where I find it's useful for you. And I think it's really important that you know what you're actually doing when you play this, because all these intervals is what actually affects the sound, and also understanding that will enable you to use it in other keys as well. All right, so with that said, we're starting here with a D major 7 arpeggio, and when you play that D major 7 arpeggio over the G, you get these intervals. So I'm just going to go from the root of the D major 7 arpeggio and the first octave, so it would be. So while it's the 1, 3, 5, and 7 from the perspective of the D note, since we're playing this over a G, the actual intervals will be 5th, the major 7, and then we have the 9th, and then we have the Lydian note, the sharp 4. So the shape that I'm playing here is going to be 5, 9 on the E and A string, so 2 notes per string there, and then you have 7 on the D string, 6 on the G, 7 on the B, and then you have 5 and 9 on the top E string as well. And I'm gonna start this on the 9th fret of the A string with a downstroke, pull off, then I'm gonna go up and then down. So down, up, down, pull off, up, down. And from here, if you look at my right hand, I make sure that this is a rest stroke. Because from here we're gonna do some sweeping, right? So down, pull off, up, down. Then I hammer, and then down, not a rest stroke, hammer, so. And from here, it's down, 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 up, and then I slide up to the 10th fret. And from here we have this G Lydian position. Fairly easy thing to play or to remember, because the last 3 strings here will be the same fingering. So we start here with 10, 9, 7, and then we have 10, 8, 7, and then we have 9, 7, 6. And then the rest of the remaining strings, down to the low E string, will be 9, 7, 5. And then you just slide back to the root note again. So from this note, it's all slides and legato. So I'm not picking anything on the way down. And this is called hammer-ons from nowhere. And it might be tricky at first, but you'll get used to it with practice. So the thing that can really help here is to make sure that the 2 first notes on the next string goes down at the same time. And the index finger tends to just fall in place automatically. But so I found that if I focus on that, it sort of takes care of itself when you speed it up. So basically starting here, and then so it's these 2 fingers are going to be down at the same time. So initially you might just practice that. It might feel a bit weird at first when you do it, but the reasoning behind it is that if we go from here, for example, 1, 2, 3, and I don't do it like I did now, I need 4 movements for 3 notes, which is not a great thing, right? Because if you look at this, I have 1, 2, And now I have to put this finger down at some point before I do the pull off. So that will be 1, 2, 3, 4 events in your brain, so to speak, to get 3 notes. But if you do it this way, 1, 2, now the finger is already in place. So you get 3 events and 3 notes. So it really helps to do that. And I found this out by working on different tapping things, right? And I realized that if I can synchronize this tapping finger and the very next finger, it's fairly easy to get it to flow. Whereas if you sort of get that wrong, where you tap and then you have to put it down, and then you get everything goes out of sync. So if you can focus on this, I think your descending rounds will work way better. So give that a try. And as usual with this stuff, you want to move it around the fretboard when you practice it. So in this one I would start as low as you can. Basically it's just 2 frets down if you want to be able to slide down to the first fret, and then just work on the same thing. Maybe do that 2-3 times, move up a half step, do it again, and do that all the way up the fretboard. And all the way back down again if you're really serious about practicing. Another thing you can try is to change up the subdivisions. Always like to do that when it comes to legato specifically, but also sweep picking. You can be helped greatly by doing that. And if you don't know what subdivision is, it's just how many notes you play on each foot tap, or if you have a metronome, how many notes you play on each metronome beat. So in this case it's written out as 16-note triplets, which is 6 notes per beat, but if you try it in 16th notes, you get a rhythmic variation, and what happens is that the beats will fall in different places, and that will give your brain a different impression of the whole line. So it can really help you with detecting some things that might not line up the way that you want it to line up, and then when you get back to your regular subdivision, it will be way smoother. So if I play this in 16th notes, 4 notes per beat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. It doesn't line up at the end here, but that doesn't matter, because what matters is that you get a different rhythmic impression of it. So give that a try if you have trouble with this stuff. All right, so that's about it for this one. If you have any questions, just post them below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Other than that, have fun with this one and see you in the next one.